Hey everybody, and welcome to a first and last spoiler cast, where today we're going to talk about Star Wars.
A very first and last Star Wars.
Specifically, Episode 9, The Rise of El Skywalker.
A short
So
time
we
ago.
only episode 1 and only episode 9.
Oh, that would be horrible.
Oh,
That would be a terrible experience.
I mean, it'd be kind of fun if you didn't know anything
Yeah.
about Star Wars. You somehow could only watch those 2D. Like, what
Just like,
happened?
What happened to Jar Jar? I thought he was going to be a big deal.
You'd get some really cool battle sequences because you get like the Darth Maul, Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan. One of my faves.
Not bad. It
Yeah.
was a good one.
Good tunes.
Have you guys, not to just totally blow up this episode already, but have you guys
Restart
watched
the
any of the
timer.
Clone Wars
Cartoon?
cartoon
No.
stuff? Because it's supposed to be like canon.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm a little confused at where exactly it is because Darth Maul dies, spoiler, in episode 1.
Yeah, they give
Yet
him
he's all over.
Yeah, they give him robot legs.
Is that what
Yeah.
it is?
Yeah,
Yeah, the
He's
Clone
just,
Wars
he's just
are
fine. He just has-
technically between 2 and 3, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense because Anakin still exists.
Yeah, no, he's alive. They give him like
okay.
robot legs, and apparently he's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's that. But that's not what we're talking about.
It is
Those are
not.
the dark
we're talking
powers of the Sith.
We're talking about the Mandalorian.
I mean,
Stop
if we're
it.
talking about dudes coming back, I mean, boy, do I have the movie for you.
the trilogies.
Overall impressions on the Rise of the Skywalker right away. Just like, did you like it?
No.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I have to also say probably 2 out of 5 meow meow beans for me.
Okay. I mean, if we're rating it on Meow Meow Beans, then I guess I'm gonna give it like a 3.8.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine. It was Star Wars. I watched all of the Star Wars going into it, like all of them in the month or two before, once Disney Plus came out,
Yeah.
and I was like, these are all stupid.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
they're all
Wait,
fun.
It's not exactly high art. It's
No.
Which ones were you saying specifically? Some of them you didn't like, or
Wait.
that are dumb?
Oh, I mean,
movie-
specifically
like, give me
episodes
numbers.
2 and 3 are very.
Oh
dumb.
yeah.
But all of them are just like dumb and silly.
Yeah. It's
Like, it
silly
just-
space stuff.
not like-
It's
how-
fantasy.
Dare you?
They're all just like they're all just silly, and they have like
Yeah, they're
slapstick sometimes,
silly.
and they're like it's a fun story, but it's like I don't know.
You're including 4, 5, and 6.
I'm including all of
Yeah.
them.
Even you're not saying it's bad. You're just saying like it's not like high art. Like,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
i
I'm not
it's
saying
fantasy
like,
story
dude, you
with-
haven't seen Inception yet. Like, I'm not saying that. Like it's not a Nolan movie.
Yeah, I
it's
see
Star
what you're
Wars.
saying, but at least like 4, 5, and 6 were highly imaginative and new.
Right, but I wasn't
Using, like,
alive, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
yeah. I mean, they
But
changed.
even still, if you watch the
we wanted to watch it. We were like, man, if this is like 1970 and you're watching this, your mind would be melting right now. This is insane.
So why don't we start there then? Because I feel like this will be like mostly negative, probably. But like, so like, what did you like about it? And like, we can kind of react to those things and see if we like the same things about it.
I mean, it was. I think fighting in this, like they just kind of fought all the time in this one. It was actually really fast paced.
Very.
Which
yeah.
that's a pro and a con for me, I think, maybe. But like at the same time, I was like, oh dang, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep
there
going.
was some excellent action.
And so there was a
scenes
lot
for
of
me.
good like lightsaber fighting, which I think
favorite lightsaber battle.
Yeah. Wait, which were the lightsaber battles again?
Well, there was the one like on a broken Death Star in the
That
middle
was-
of the ocean.
That was badass.
That's the final one, right?
No, because then there's the one in the Sith pit.
Okay.
I guess.
So yeah, there's the one between Kylo
Yeah.
and Rey on the old Death Star with the waves,
in like the ocean. Yeah,
and then there's the one
that was
where
badass.
they're in the Sith pit.
Yeah, that's what I'm going
That's
to
what we're
call it.
calling
It's the
it.
end,
where,
the end
where
part
Emperor
of it.
Palpatine lives.
The end, yeah.
And that's
the Palpatine fight.
That's not really. I mean, it's a fight with lightsabers, but they're fighting against Palpatine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
And
thought there was
then-
one before that.
There's one before where they're
It's gotta be.
it's between Kylo and Rey, but they're in two separate places. Like she's on
Yeah.
the ship and he's on
That
the
was
planet.
cool.
Yeah, and they're like kind of fighting through the Force.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. which we hadn't seen before, right? Because
Not fighting through
in
it,
the
but they definitely have like talked.
in 8
Mm-hmm.
of this trilogy, Luke at the end and Ren are like fighting, but Luke's not there. But they don't actually like really.
I don't think they ever touch.
They don't actually touch.
Yeah,
he's
he
just
just
avoiding
dodges
him.
And there are things between Kylo
interesting.
and Rey in Episode 8 where they can see each other and kind of feel each other through the
Yeah,
Force, but
which is cool.
this one they kind of introduced that like no, you can physically like take things from them and like fight.
Oh right.
Yeah.
He like snatches the necklace off her. I was like, "What planet are these from?"
Yeah. So yeah, that was a thing we'd never seen before in a Star Wars movie: is two people fighting via Force projection, but like
Yeah.
being real.
One thing I thought was gonna be really cool and
Uh-huh.
didn't pay off was that the Knights
This
of Ren
movie?
were like actually in it.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
I was like, these guys are gonna just be big, brute, awesome, fighty people. And then they, like,
they were not.
they like just kind of died unceremoniously,
Yeah.
like in not a very good battle.
A couple days before I saw the movie, I was at a Hot Topic and I saw a pretty cool Knights of Ren shirt.
Uh-huh.
And I almost bought it.
Aren't you
but
happy you didn't know?
I was like, let
What
me
a
wait.
terrible
let me wait
investment.
on this.
That would have been.
Yeah.
Rey doing lightning at the shuttle when she thinks she like blows up Chewie.
Yeah, when we
That
all
was
thought
dope.
Chewie was dead for about 5 minutes.
She did a little bad guy stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting because there are a lot of tropes in this, obviously, that are in the other Star Wars movies that they borrow from, because that's what Star Wars does. But
Mhm.
we had not seen an actual good guy, like the good guy of the story, do bad guy stuff. I mean, as far as like this,
Well,
so like
she did a bad thing. She didn't try to do it though.
sure, but that's like dark side of the Force.
But yeah.
Specific move, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was obviously like hindsight now. It was a very very foreshadowing of like, oh, you got Palpatine's powers because you're
Yeah.
related to him.
Yeah, right. Sure.
I mean, I guess
Okay.
you're excluding Anakin, right?
Well, yes and no, because
know,
in
the
that
story of the bad guy.
trilogy, Anakin is like, so each trilogy has like their good bad guy,
yeah.
and so you have Anakin, then you have Vader, who's just also Anakin,
Hmm.
and then you have Kylo Ren.
Sure.
So then you have like Obi-Wan, good guy, Luke, good guy, Rey, good guy.
You're also wrong, Jimmy, because the bad guy in all of them is the Emperor.
Well, okay.
The Phantom Menace
No,
himself.
and I didn't say bad guy. I said good bad guy. You have the person who's wrestling.
Right. Gotcha.
So those are the things that I liked.
I really liked the Han Solo scene. I know that's.
yeah.
Oh man, I
Kinda
thought that was
divisive.
dumb.
I have thoughts.
Yeah, okay.
I did. I thought I was like, oh.
I just liked seeing Han Solo again, and I liked that it tied back to the scene from The Force Awakens. I know it's a little easy, but like that moment just like worked for me because it was just like, oh, like I've seen that. This is a thing I remember.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's fair. I definitely saw that when it was happening in the theater, and I was like, this doesn't need to be in this movie. Like,
I thought that over and over through this film, which is my problem with it. Because actually, in the theaters, like leaving the theaters was like I was maybe at a 4 out of 5 meow meow beans.
Yeah.
Just like overall feeling like there was some excellent action. There was some really great resolves. They did a great job with Leia, and that was like my biggest worry is how they were gonna handle that, if they're gonna handle that well.
Mm-hmm.
But then as I keep thinking about it, it's like, man, but there was that part. Why the hell was that there? It's totally unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the whole
What is this dagger?
the whole movie was just like, go get a MacGuffin,
Yeah.
then go get another. It was like what the internet
Yep.
jokes about what an RPG is. You're like, you got to get a key to open the door to
Mhm.
fight
to get the key
to get
open the door.
to kill a skeleton, which holds an amulet to which you can maybe defeat the dragon with
Right.
that. And that was this whole movie.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And I'm assuming that's where most people's meanness towards it lie.
And like my short take is that like I think that there's two ways to do this movie of just like the third movie of a big like multi-billion-dollar franchise, and it's to either be Revenge of the Sith, which was just nonstop like fan service, or to be like Return of the Jedi, which is just like a little story with the characters that already, plus some weird Ewoks and shit, but like otherwise just not really like we're gonna do the Death Star again. Like it's not really that ambitious, but it's a nice little story.
Sam. Yeah.
And I feel like either of those views,
They did do the Death Star again. They just hung the Death Star's dick off
just like
400
half a Death Star.
chips.
Yeah.
And and
I feel like just like in either of those ways, whether it was just like, you know, just a vehicle for fan service or just a nice little story to wrap it up, like it just failed either way. Or it didn't work for me, at least either way.
I think it tried to do both of those things.
It did a little bit, yeah.
I think it tried way too hard on so many levels.
Yeah. I mean, if we just look at like the story part of it, like the thing that like you guys had not watched any trailers or anything, right?
I didn't know anything going in.
I watched the first one where she's like on Tatooine and she jumps and it's not Tatooine,
Sure.
right?
Yeah,
Another
I
sand
think
planet
it's,
trope
different one.
where she like does the flip over the TIE fighter and slices it, and you're like, oh damn,
That was pretty
that was
dope.
like the first trailer that came out. Teaser.
Yeah, and in that first teaser, the big reveal is that, like Luke or someone says like no one's ever really gone, and then you hear the Emperor laugh, and so the big reveal is like, oh, the Emperor's in this.
Yep.
And then so like me going into this movie, I thought that like, you know, the Emperor would be something that they like work towards, and then is revealed in like the second half of the movie as being alive or whatever.
But he's revealed in the opening crawl.
It says the dead speak.
That's horrible. Horrible.
And then even in like in that crawl, it says that like, you know, both our heroes and our villains are looking for the Emperor. And so I still thought like, oh, okay, we're gonna like, you know, go on a journey and find the Emperor. But then it's like Kylo Ren's on a planet that we don't like. He's just like slaughtering people we don't know, and he's picking up some sort of object that we don't understand. And then the next scene, he's like hanging out with the Emperor.
Yeah,
But like,
it's just a montage of him getting to the Emperor.
but like that weird like human crane that he's attached to, it's pretty cool, right?
Just like moving him around.
yeah,
It totally explains how he's still alive, because he's just living on Crane now.
because he's every Sith.
Well, so he did, I think it was either episode 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
He's at like the opera or something with Anakin, and he tells him the whole story of Darth Plagueis, which is his, which is the Emperor's master,
Yeah.
or was, and how he like figured out how not to
How
die.
to defeat death, yeah.
Right.
And I should say too that like,
So I kind of
I
like
have
that.
thoughts on that.
yeah, a lot
as
of
well.
people are gonna, you know, complain about this movie and other Star Wars movies really about like logic and like plot holes and blah blah blah, and like I don't give a shit about that, because like Star Wars is a universe where like they have like hyperspeed travel, but they don't have like Wi-Fi. So like, okay, I don't care about any sort of logic. It's fine.
If I'm annoyed at anything in the world of Star Wars, and it continued even into this movie for a little bit, is that everyone's like, the Force is just hooey pooey, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's only been like 35 years. This whole 9 movies. It's like you've seen some shit, and you're still like, the Force.
So yeah, my complaints are not about like logic or plot holes or anything. It's just that like there's too much like plot in at least the first half of this movie. There's just like you said, the MacGuffins of like finding this thing to get to the other thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of convoluted and doesn't really like make sense to me. There's a part where like I was watching the movie with Claire, who had kind of seen, she's really only seen like 7 and 8. She's never really seen the other Star Wars movies.
Okay.
And there's a part like maybe a half an hour in where she kind of leaned over and she's like, wait, what is? And I'm like, I don't know either. I don't know.
Nobody knows at this point.
Don't worry, you're not supposed to know.
Yeah, I just felt like there were so many unnecessary things.
Like what?
Like, so speaking of, like in episodes 1 through 3, the big thing is like Anakin wants to figure out from the dark side of the Force how to make someone live forever so that he can save Padme, right?
Sure.
And help his friends live forever. But then Rey now is just running around force healing everything.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
like,
she just knows.
so apparently the good side of the Force can heal.
No, only no. They. I'm gonna.
Please explain this to me. And then all of a sudden, Kylo Ren knows how to, or Ben at that point knows how to do it suddenly,
Did he do
and
it?
saves Rey's life.
He
and
puts
kills himself
his
doing
life
it.
force into Rey at the end.
Okay. I forgot about
I
that
assume
part.
it's the same.
It's the
principle.
same. It's like the same reason it was like how like Rey could do like the lightning and like no one else can besides like the Emperor.
Mhm.
It kind of seems that like a lot like depending on the
Okay.
Jedi, some of them have like kind of like slightly their own power depending
Okay.
on who you are. So like the lightning thing kind of like runs through the family, so that's why she can do it and Palpatine can do it. But then she also like has an extra. She can like heal.
Sure.
That's what I just kind of gathered for it. And that part I was like, oh, that's kind of fun. Like maybe
These are just X-Men now.
Yeah,
These are
yeah,
just people
yeah.
with different.
Yeah,
well, everyone has
versions
like
they're all
of the
mutants, but they have different powers.
you know they're all Force people. They can move stuff and they can like jump high and like fight real good and stuff. And they can talk
they might
from
have
far
some-
away. And they can all
Okay.
become ghosts and live
Yeah, they get to
forever.
be a blue ghost.
But then some of them can shoot lightning and some of
Yeah.
them can like heal.
So let's talk about that because that was a big reveal of like Rey is a Palpatine, right?
Yeah,
How do you feel
Yeah.
about that?
that's great. I don't care.
Okay.
I mean, it was like I would have been. I half expected him to be like, "You're Kylo Ren's sister, like
They
you're
s- they-
twins."
They set it up so much like that.
that they were gonna be brother
Just-
and sister.
Yeah, just the fact that they can foresee each other and force feel each other
Yeah, there's
like
a
Luke and
connection.
Leia did. Obvious like draw, and
Called
then
misdirection.
and then Ben says that your parents were nobody, and that was the big reveal for 8.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
like, okay, if like they were split like Luke and Leia were, like Owen, on the farm was nobody, so like she could have been raised by nobodies the same way that Luke was.
But she's still a Skywalker.
Right.
It does feel like her being
It
a
was
Palpatine
right there.
is just kind of, it's a twist for like twist's sake. Like you
Yes.
thought she was gonna be a Skywalker.
They
We
could-
even called it Rise of Skywalker.
You idiot.
I mean,
fucking dumbass.
two things. They could have made it a lot more like intense somehow. Of like you're Palpatine, so like he's really trying to turn you. And I feel like they didn't get into that enough.
Yeah.
Where like I never thought like she's gonna turn. I never thought that at one point. And probably because it was Star Wars, but they
Well-
never even tried to make me think it really.
There's
Yeah.
the one part where she, like we mentioned this earlier, she like lightning roasted Chewie by blowing up a ship. Granted on accident, but she did it, right?
Right.
And then what happens?
And Chewie was fine.
He's
Chewie was
fine.
fine.
He was on a different
Right.
ship that we didn't see.
Yeah.
Could you
No
imagine if she would have
consequences
killed him
whatsoever.
Like
Yeah, like that would have been huge.
that would have been insane.
and it's
that,
I
the
would
last
have loved
movie, so
that.
who cares? Kill Chewie.
like could
Yeah.
have killed Chewie.
I would have loved that.
And that could have like been a thing that could have like turned her.
Uh-huh.
She's like, I've already
Yeah.
gone too far. I
Mhm.
might as well be bad now, or
Yeah.
like something crazy. Would have
Or-
made more sense than Anakin just killing younglings to save Padme.
yeah,
No, it was his mom,
he had to wipe out,
and
you
she
know,
died anyway.
He's following orders at that point.
Fair enough.
But I mean that Chewie thing is just emblematic of like a lot of
There are just no consequences.
yeah. There's a lot of just like hitting Control Z on lots of random things.
that's
like
the undo button.
And it's not
guys.
even like, oh, they're just trying to undo like Last Jedi. It was like they're undoing things from The Force Awakens, even of just like, or even just undoing things like from 5 minutes ago. Like we're wiping
Yes.
C-3PO's memory.
Yes, I'm
but
so
he's
glad you
back.
brought this up. I'm so upset about this.
He even has a tender moment where he's like, "I'm saying goodbye to my friends."
Yeah. 5 minutes later,
It's like, no,
R2 reboots
we
him.
found a backup. He's good.
Yeah, but like,
yeah, I've been backing him up. It's
but
cool.
like Babu Fink or whatever.
Babu
that-
Frick.
Babu. That's the cutest thing in all.
It's great.
Star
I love
Wars.
me some Babu Frick.
My Babu.
Ugly
to
little. He
mention
looks
Babu
like he's a
Frick.
character from Total Recall,
Yeah.
like the '80s version with Arnold.
Yeah.
Scary
great.
little, like he just popped out of a grown man's belly, and that's his full
Yeah.
form.
Well, I mean, I think the problem with Star Wars, which is really weird since it's Disney now, and all three of these were Disney, is that they like didn't have a Kevin Feige that was like, this is the story we're
There's
gonna
no
do.
one showrunner.
It seems like they went Joss Whedon and Friends, write this one. Okay, now Ryan Johnson and Friends, write this one. But,
Russo
like,
brothers.
But
you're up.
Joss wrote you a couple J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
But he gave you a couple notes on where he like thinks maybe you should go with it.
Sure.
And then
Take it
there's
from there.
now there's a third one, and
Yeah.
it was like, all right, who's up? Oh, not that other guy anymore. I don't even
Yeah.
JJ again.
Uh-huh.
And now he's like, here's Orion notes. So like write the
Yeah.
third one. I was like, did you not like go? this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen. You're the director writer, so now you have like a free way of how to get there, but like we need to hit these things. It doesn't seem like they did that.
Yeah, it seems like they had more of a general structure, more of like a business structure, really, where they said, we're bringing Star Wars back. We're going to do 3 movies in, 5 years, every other year. We're going to bring JJ on to just like make people feel comfortable and like be a steward for the franchise. Then we're going to bring on Rian Johnson, just like blow the whole thing up and get kind of weird in the second movie, because we can afford to be weird in the second movie, because in the third movie, we're bringing on Colin Trevorrow, who did Jurassic World, and he's just going to like land the ship, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because like Jurassic World's just like a bigger, louder version of Jurassic Park. So we're just going to, however weird it gets, we're just going to like bring it on back. But then like all of that falls apart when like they don't, for whatever reason, doesn't work out with Colin Trevorrow. And now you're bringing back J.J. Abrams, who didn't want to do another movie. And now he's like figuring shit out.
Yeah, but it's like that's the other problem is like, did the Colin Trevorrow, like they were just like, yeah, you're going to figure it out then, right, dude? Mm-hmm. Like there wasn't somebody on the like standing above the umbrella being no, you guys have to hit these beats.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't seem like
this is where we're going from beginning to end. Which granted, like the original Star Wars was that way anyway too, where just like they didn't know that like Luke and Leia were going to be siblings by the end.
Well, I
they
mean,
wouldn't have had them make out in the first movie.
I mean, I feel
Probably.
like they
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Or else George Lucas is just into some weird stuff.
I mean,
which is also possible.
if you watch only the original, like just A New Hope, you're like, okay, this is one movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then someone was like, hey, that was really great. Do you want to make more? And he's like, oh, yeah, I wrote.
I got 9 movies.
I got notes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think another. So we're talking about like the structure and like how that fails it. So yeah, I think going back to JJ when he didn't want to do it, that kind of harms it. Another thing is it seemed like number 7, Force Awakens, that was the Han Solo movie, right? Because Han Solo gets first billing. He's the one that dies in that movie. Episode 8 is the Luke Skywalker movie. He gets top billing. He's on the poster. And then so episode 9 was supposed to be the Princess Leia movie, but she died. Carrie Fisher died before they were able to start making it. And it must have been contractual or something, because they still like tried to make her a big deal in this movie and still gave her top billing, but it was just like weird, like my name is Judge type stuff from her. Like,
well, I mean, it was not a human.
Just on the planet. And then they threw in the weird, like, yeah, I was a Jedi for a hot second, but then like I wasn't. So,
well, she trained.
So it feels like if they did have any plans, their plan was to have Colin Trevorrow make a movie where Princess Leia is the big like structural plot point of the movie and ties everything together. And then by the time they got there in 2019, that all just fell apart.
I didn't really understand when they were having the lightsaber battle on the Death Star. And then like Leia was like, I got what I gotta do. And then she like laid down and like died. And I was like, wait, what did you, how did you saved your son? How did this happen? Like,
Judge, my name.
Because she was like Kylo, and he's like, huh, Mom? And then was caught off guard.
I mean, he obviously like in Last Jedi, he like had the shot to like kill her kind of thing, and he didn't take it, but the other TIE fighters did. So I mean, they set up a little bit of like he apparently cares about his mom a little bit more than his dad, but
that's compelling.
Yeah, and they did it, but I was just like, how does her like lying down, like force talking to him and then dying like make him like want to be good now?
Right.
It would make, if you're like a dark side dude, you'd be like super mad now, and you'd probably be like, well, fuck them all now.
And you can kind of imagine how like if she were alive, maybe there's a scene there. Maybe she actually physically goes to him instead of just like talking to him off screen.
Yeah, my thought was, okay, so she maybe knows to some extent that what's going to happen from that he's going to get caught off guard, Rey's going to win the battle, and then have to like save him, and then he's going to be like turned that way that he was saved, that
they have to kill Kylo to save Ben.
Kill Kylo to save Ben. Yeah, and that's something that Leia knew, and that's why she did that.
Sure.
And it used all of her energy she had left to get to him.
Did Leia know that Rey could heal?
I don't know.
Apparently, that was
And,
not.
and honestly, for me in the
privy to
theater,
that.
like around that time is where I started to be like up till that point I was like, what they're on the Death Star? What is going on? But then when she kills him, and then he has that scene with Han Solo, and I like that scene even though it's like cheesy and dumb. And then
I mean, it's just that's Star Wars.
Yeah, it's Star Wars. And then Rey goes back to Ahch-To to like talk to Luke and like get the X-Wing out of the water. It's all like dumb stuff, and I'm just like fist pumping. I'm like, it's happening.
Yeah.
Star Wars is happening. But then
oh, now it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
I get it.
And then shortly after that, it just sort of drops it all again. Like they cut over to like Poe and Finn, and I'm not sure what they're doing something with horses. There's horses riding in space.
They're trying to be in love, but Disney won't let it happen.
That's
Who played Poe? What's his name again? He's got a fun name.
I like literally pulled up IMDb on the
but
side.
he God, what is it? I forgot his name. Sorry, Poe. Poe Dameron. I know you that whole thing. I don't know. But he had an interview, and they were like, because I guess there was a whole thing of people were like, wait, are they trying to get like Poe and Finn to get together, kind of thing?
Yeah, why not?
And he
no, it was just people in the background, and people were pissed about it.
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac.
Ooh.
And he had an interview, and he was like, I try to when we had like scenes together, I would try to push it a little bit, like, and I like it sounded like he like told people he was like, this is good, like we like these characters can like each other, kind of thing, and he basically was like, Disney didn't have the balls to do it.
Yeah,
is
sure.
basically what he said.
Yeah, I
Which
did hear that.
I was like, and someone told me that like right in like the middle of the movie. One of the people I was sitting next to, they were like, people think they're gay, and I watched the whole movie, and I was like, I love this now. This is awesome.
Yeah,
because like they like keep looking at each other like, bro, like they.
Yeah.
It was like Vin Diesel and what's his name, Paul Walker. Right there you go.
But yeah, that was like from Ren dying to Rey getting the X-Wing back, and then they're all on their way to Exegol, and Finn and Poe are like giving a pep talk. That's when I was just like, it's happening. I'm gonna love this movie, and then it all just sort of like stopped after that.
Oh, there was something I really, really disliked in this movie.
Yeah.
Finn once again should have died, and they didn't let him die.
When should he have died this time?
When he was
at
on the
end.
Star Destroyer shooting at it to like take it down, and he was the only one left on the Star Destroyer,
yeah.
basically.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
like
that's
manually shooting a
He
turret.
basically told like
Everyone
that lady
left,
that
yeah.
he met from the horse planet, the
Yeah.
Death Star horse
Yeah.
planet. He's like, hey, you got to get out of here because I got to do this thing. And I was like, you're gonna fulfill your destiny again because you are useless. You're a
Yeah.
useless character.
Yeah.
You should have died in Last Jedi, but you didn't for some reason.
It's a
And
bummer.
now you can die now.
Yeah.
Like the only person that died in this movie was the person that was already dead.
Who, the Emperor?
Kylo?
Oh, well, Kylo died.
No, Kylo.
And also Kylo. You keep forgetting about Kylo.
Yeah.
Okay, question. Quick question, because you brought up the lady.
Which lady?
So Ben, the lady that stays with with Finn at the end to take down the destroyer, who's riding the crazy space horses.
Her name is Janna.
Janna. So at the end of this movie, Lando is like, well, you got to track down your family. So what year can we expect that spin-off film?
I don't think it's a Disney Plus show.
I don't want to watch that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
I don't want to watch that show. I don't want to watch
care
that
about
movie.
Janna. We didn't even talk about Lando because who cares?
Yeah.
Why was he in this movie?
So sad.
That was that fan service part that like didn't land really.
Yeah.
And it was like you didn't need to be in here. And especially you didn't need to like be in the one scene. Like you could have been in the very first scene that you saw him, and then they like left the planet, you know. And then he all of a sudden just showed back up, and I was like, I thought we were done with him.
Yeah. That was just like a cameo.
His little cameo was totally fine,
Yeah.
completely acceptable, fun. And then he came back, and he was like, "Oh, let's keep talking. I'm Billy D." And it was just like, dude,
Got yourself a soup.
didn't need to be in it. Also, somebody that should have been in it that basically wasn't was like, "What's up with Rose?"
Yeah.
Yeah, the internet.
It was like
hates that Rose was not in this.
Well, it was just weird.
Well, also part of the internet hates that she existed in episode
Yeah,
8.
well, I mean, in episode 8, everyone
Sure.
hated that she existed, and I was like,
Which
she's
is
a
dumb.
cute, fun
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
And she's like in love with Finn, and
She
they're
was
in
like
love.
the best part of that whole B
Yeah.
plot.
She did ruin it
sucked.
by not letting him die.
Yeah.
Okay, true. That's
But-
technically true.
But then she saved him, like, cause she cares for him, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden they're just like what, they like high five and it's awkward now or
They
something.
did specifically make
Yeah.
a point of being like, "Hey Rose, like we're gonna go on this adventure. You sure you don't want to come? It's totally your choice." And she's like, "I'm staying here and
Yeah.
not coming."
I just remember when
I
they
don't
like,
want to be in that
this is
scene.
this is my choice. I will see you guys later.
and I was like, okay,
I
fine.
don't want whatever extra money you guys are getting.
Well, and then they won. Everybody's like on the planet, and everyone's like hugging and cheering and everything. And then like Rose is like there, and she's like Chewie, and she like hugs Chewie, and I'm like,
You've never met Chewie once in your life.
and I was like, hug Finn. He's your lover, right? Because you won't let him be gay with Poe.
Yeah.
So like,
Saved his life.
so I was like, this is a
Interesting.
shame. It was just a weird thing of just like kill her then. Like if you don't want to, just
Just kill everybody.
you just didn't use her.
Who cares?
Yeah.
I didn't get that part. So
A lot of it just some more Control Z.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It felt like it was afraid to like
So
take
much.
any sort of steps of.
There was
anything.
no risk in this movie
Mhm.
No.
at all.
Which is fine. Like I don't need it to like just like blow everything up. But if you're gonna do that, then just like show me some like Force ghosts. Like let
Yeah.
me see some cool shit.
Yeah. Do you think?
Yeah, where was my
like
Hayden
I do that
Christensen
Han,
Force
the
ghost?
Han scene? He should have been a Force ghost
Well, no.
and not just a fucking ghost.
Yeah.
What's one
Yeah.
more step further?
Put like 300 like old Jedis on the screen as blue. Like I want to see
Yeah.
Mace Windu just be like, "I'm
They-
coming back for you,
yeah,
Emperor."
yeah. They all did the. Okay, I actually hated that part though. The all Jedi like voiceover
Yeah.
at the end, because it felt like another. Just like there's no point to anything. Like
Mhm.
I am every Sith, I am every Jedi. Like no, you're not. No, you aren't. You are one.
I liked hearing the voices. I like the idea of like all the good versus all the bad, but it's just like
But it's just not though.
it's
Like why are you all of a sudden that?
yeah. It's
No one else was that. Yoda couldn't have been that if he wanted to
Mhm.
defeat whatever.
It all like the thing that I realized was like I'm not a Marvel head, but I recently watched all of the Marvel movies. Like
I'm
just
so proud of you.
like stream them at home, and like I thought they were fine.
I've never
I
felt closer to you.
thought they were fine. I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
But I thought that like Endgame was really successful in just like, how do you, end a colossal like 22
Yeah.
movie like series like this? And it's just like you give the people what they want.
Yeah.
Like you have all your
You tie
heroes
it
in
up.
one place, like punching Thanos in the face.
Yeah.
Like you have that one scene where like it's just Cap by himself, but then like, like all of the heroes start showing up through portals, and
Yeah.
then he says like Avengers assemble, and then
Yeah.
you're just like on
And
your feet.
everybody
Like, yeah.
has a boner.
Like I was at home and I was just like, maybe I should like hop in this screen and just like punch Thanos in the
Feeling
face.
empowered. Okay,
It's
I
like-
had. Did you watch that before or after watching The Rising of Skywalker?
Oh, I watched
The
that
Rise of Skywalker.
like this summer. Yeah.
Okay, because at the end when they're all on what is it, Skrillex planet? What is it?
Exegol?
Exegol.
Yeah.
when like the Falcon and everybody shows up, I was like, they are endgaming this.
Right.
Everybody's all of a
stuff.
sudden here now.
And
The
yeah,
whole
there's-
gang.
There's a lot of stuff that just felt like lesser versions of Endgame. So like when
It's just shitty
when
endgame.
he says I am all of the Sith, and then she says I am all of the Jedi, like
Yeah.
it's like an Endgame where Thanos says I am inevitable, and then Iron Man says I am Iron Man,
Ugh.
which is like way cooler because
Way cooler.
that's the thing that he says.
Yeah.
No one has ever said I am all of the Jedi.
Yeah, because it's outrageous. It's an outrageous thing to say. I'm getting like Jason Mantzoukas levels of like excited right now, but I was so upset at that.
What if it would make
I know
that
you are
scene-
because I have to edit your voice down.
it would
Probably.
make that scene better if after
sorry.
she said I am all of the Jedi, Palpatine was like, what? And then he got
that's
Force
something
lightning
that
fried.
he would say.
You're a fucking idiot, granddaughter. I mean, I was fine when he was all the Sith because I felt like it fit in with what the Sith are in a way.
Sure.
They're all just the same. It's just always a guy in a hood.
Right.
Sure.
They're all just Palpatine.
5-minute warning.
Always.
But yeah, I mean,
Okay.
like again, just not a Marvel head, but they've shown that there is a way out for a big blockbuster franchise to be satisfying. Like it's not enough to say like, oh well, there was no good way to end episode 9. Like they can do
For
it.
sure.
You can have a big like blockbuster project and still have it make money and still have it just be like cool, great.
Was
Yeah.
anyone else in like
Tied it
hour and 45 minutes into this movie and went, why the hell is it called Rise of the Skywalker?
Mm-hmm.
Who's rising? What?
Which are they gonna? Who?
Because it should have been freaking Rey.
Babu Frick is a secret Skywalker.
Babu.
I would have taken that too. I would have accepted that as well.
Yeah. Before we wrap this up, any last takes about like the literal ending of her going back to Tatooine and like having a yellow lightsaber?
I mean, her lightsaber was dope.
Yeah, it was pretty dope. Just I don't just want to back it up just a second to possibly the worst part of this movie for me, and that was the Rey Ren kiss.
Yeah.
That was completely unnecessary and added nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like,
It was but their connection.
fuck
Yeah.
you.
Actually, they kiss, and I went, and I
So
thought,
did he just kiss all the Jedi?
yeah. His mom.
man.
I hate it.
His mom, his
I hate
uncle, his grandpa.
He kissed all of his ancestors in that moment. Okay, now I feel better about the kiss. Actually,
When they kiss,
And that's why he died.
This is funny. So this is what you think. They kiss, and you go, did he just kiss all the Jedi? And I thought, is he gonna live? Because like he's gonna be in prison forever, right? Like
Yeah,
he's a horrible man.
like,
killed Han
and,
Solo.
like, even if he's quote unquote coming back to be a good guy, like he has committed war crimes.
destroyed literal planets.
Worse than Hitler.
So
Literally
many.
worse than
Worse
Hitler.
than Hitler. Yeah.
Yeah, I just
So, like, there was
I
no
just
he had to die.
Hated it. I just hated it. Like they didn't it didn't add anything. It wasn't like they were ramping up. Like there was some weird stuff going on in 8 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like and he's like, I just want you to join me on the throne
Yeah.
or whatever. And then it was like, okay, we're gonna be buds
Yeah.
because we're brother and sister.
There was that one time where they were telepathically talking and he was shirtless and he was like, "Oh, I didn't know you."
Oh,
would
yeah,
be
and
here.
she was
Hey."
like, will you put on a
I liked their whole connection thing throughout the movies, and it was good. And I didn't really care that they kissed. That's all I have to say about it.
Yeah,
It
when they
didn't,
kissed, I was like,
it didn't affect me either way. I think it would have been more fun if they didn't kiss and they were just like, we're like super connected, and
Yeah.
they
they just
weren't
had
brother
their
and
kind of their
sister.
tongues out
but
a little
I
bit, like they're
always
gonna
think
touch.
that. So
Yeah. I want to live my life next to everybody that I'm really close with and think, is Josh gonna kiss me right now or not?
Are we gonna kiss?
We're gonna kiss.
Hey, we gonna kiss?
So in the next minute and 45 seconds, let's rate the trilogy best to worst.
okay,
This last trilogy.
okay.
I'll go first.
Wait, we're
if you'd
rating
like.
where this is in the
No. The episodes 7, 8, 9.
Okay,
Just
got it.
Like the new ones. How do you think they were? Just best to worst. Mine would go in best to worst order. Would be Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. I think I'm going to go Last Jedi, Force Awakens, then Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
I think Last Jedi had two of the coolest things Star Wars has ever done: the Imperial Guard fight and the Holdo maneuver.
Yeah, those are dope.
Those are the
Super
coolest things that I've ever had in Star Wars.
The whole no
When
what?
The Holdo maneuver?
when Laura Dern shoots her ship through the
Oh yeah.
thing, she was,
Okay.
that's
Oh,
what
that's
they
her name in
Yeah.
that. Okay,
Vice
yeah.
Admiral Holdo.
Oh,
Somebody-
I was thinking Snoke. Nope, Snoke.
Somebody does that in this movie at the end when the Ewok is like looking up. You can see one of the Star Destroyers or something. It's like broken up. It's broken up because of the Holdo. Someone did the Holdo maneuver again.
Oh, okay,
in that
that's
movie.
fun.
Yeah.
I
Interesting.
like that. That's
Okay.
a fun Easter egg.
So those
Joe, what do you think?
Like going into episode 9, like episode 7 and 8 were like pretty much exactly tied for me. And I think like now that I've like thought about it a little bit, I think for me The Force Awakens edges out Last Jedi by like just a little bit. And I think just because the
because you hate that Force boy they never talked about again.
I kind of don't like that.
I thought that was dumb.
But I was just gonna say that like,
But he was in Rey at the end of the movie,
yeah, he's one of the Jedi,
right?
Losing.
I don't know how to stop
Podcast
this.
is over.
I don't.
It's
Okay.
broken.
That was our podcast should be over warning.
It will be over.
Will it?
We'll see. The thing that brings Last Jedi down a notch for me is that just knowing that they just like squashed the Finn character in 8 and then like couldn't redeem it in 9. That was just like, well, like that was just like
It's because they didn't kill him in 8 like they should have.
much more wasted potential. That like that whole Canto Bite stuff with Rose and Finn, just like
He would have been like a hero they looked up to in 9. Like Finn, like sacrificed himself for this. We got to keep going.
yeah, would have been cool.
I thought you were gonna say that Last Jedi was worse. You're gonna say something about the crystals. I thought the crystals had some sort of like midichlorian sort of like
not so
like
much.
they were gonna bring that around.
Midichlorians are like water in a microwave. It's however if they vibrate more in you, then you
Sure.
Cool.
You're a
Your
Jedi.
microwave has
All right.
higher wattage.
Hot
For
take.
me, I would say Force Awakens, I think, is just a better movie start to finish.
Yeah.
It's just a better finished product
Just
than
cooks,
any
man.
of these.
Yeah.
And then I would just go straight 7, 8, 9. The only thing that, well, I don't know. 8 and 9 I think are pretty close for me. The whole like B plot in Last Jedi of them going to the gambling planet
Yeah.
and letting loose the kangaroo dinosaurs or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, none of that matters.
No, there's no point of any of that.
And what's the actor who they get? They're not looking for him.
Benicio del Toro.
Benicio del freaking
Yeah.
Toro, and that was just such a throwaway.
Yeah.
Like you get Benicio del Toro for your throwaway character?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah, none of that ends up mattering.
That should have been
It sucks.
awesome.
I mean, Carrie Russell was in this last one, and she
Was tight.
never took her helmet off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
I didn't even know it was Carrie
Wait,
Russell
didn't
until
she
the
once?
movie was
No.
over. She opened her visor and you
Yeah.
saw her eyes.
Oh, okay.
And she was on the planet when they blew it up, but then you see her at the end because nothing matters.
We're having fun.
And speaking of nothing
All right.
matters, thank you for listening to our spoiler cast. If you want us to do more of these, let us know or tell us what you thought about
Yeah.
this Star Wars
Yep.
stuff.
Rate the trilogy.
Babu Freak 2020.
Oh man, I'd vote for that. Build the smallest wall
Just
ever.
wipe all our memories, Babu.
Please. At least the last 4.
All right. Well, thank you for listening, and we'll see you some other time.